take us through your childhood then. So your parents, like you said, they were from a mixed race background. Were they strict growing up? Would you say you had a quote unquote traditional upbringing? What's your reflections on that?
They were pretty strict. I feel like my dad, even though he is like Western, he had like very similar ideas as my mum when it came to raising me. That being said, my mother was very typical Asian mother. Like, she wanted me to have good grades. She would do the whole comparison of myself and all my friends, or like with like other family members. Your typical sits down with you while you do your maths, and if you can't answer it right, you start crying. And she's like, "What's 2 + 2?" No, I know 2 + 2 is 4, but like, yeah, just
the pressure.
The pressure
makes you crack. Yeah.
Yeah, and also just like I played a few instruments growing up. The main one being violin, and she would come to all my lessons, and then she would kind of like nag me in the car, and she would do the whole, "You need to practice. Why aren't you practicing?" And the whole like she would watch you. Yep. And just to make sure that you do it. And like there was a period of time where we had like a whole system where she would like motivate me by like being like, "If you practice X amount of pages, I'll give you some money."
Money?
Yeah, jeez. Because I feel like I'm definitely someone who, like, when I feel forced to do something, it makes me really not want to do it.
Yep.
And because she was constantly putting that pressure on me, it just deterred me away from a lot of things. And then I feel like, when you're in high school, the focus is get good grades so that you can graduate and go to a good university. And then once you get to university, it's do well and start looking for a job. But if you're looking for a job, you should look at this career path or that career path. So last year, when it was my last year of uni, and I was applying for a lot of grad jobs, and I actually got rejected from every single grad role I applied for.
Right.
Which was tough. And, I remember trying to talk to her about it one day, and she was like, "It's because you do marketing. Like, I hate that role." And I was like, "Why?" And she's like, "It doesn't make you money. You're not going to be able to succeed, blah, blah, blah. You should have done finance. Why didn't you do finance?" In my arts degree, I was majoring in international relations and Chinese. So she was like, "Why don't you do diplomacy? You can travel. Why don't you do this?" And I'm just like, I just don't really feel like I'm as interested. So I feel like in that sense, it was quite typical. And even when I was younger, I always felt like I had to please her. Like, I don't know if that's something you guys relate to, but and sometimes I still feel this way, although not as much in the last few months. Like I have to get her approval because she was just, or never really felt like she was just happy with me or proud of me.